Texas Longhorns, ranked number 8 in the country. They host Sam Houston State for a primetime kickoff, and this has become a bigger recruiting weekend than anyone would have anticipated at the start of the fall.
100%. I mean, we're going to talk about number 1 quarterback Kavian Bryant making his arrival in Austin just about an hour ago. But there's also a couple 5-stars on campus, a couple surprise visitors, some flip targets. I mean, official visit weekend for Derek Cooper. Great plan by the Texas coaching staff to keep Derek Cooper away from that Miami Gator game. He's in Austin instead for Sam Houston State on that official visit. His whole family's with him. Saw they were at Terry Black's earlier. They've really rolled out the burnt orange carpet for him and his family. Also, linebacker Tyler Atkinson back, James J.J. Johnson, another one where if he wasn't in Austin right now, he would definitely be on the sidelines for that Canes Gator game. And then Corey Wells is back after we all had him potentially flipping to Auburn last weekend. He's back at Austin. So, Steve, what stands out to you about some of these 2026 names on campus?
Yeah, and Texas's linebacker commit 5-star Tyler Atkinson back for his second straight game on 40 acres as well. Look, with Derek Cooper, I think it's going to be hard to flip him from Texas. I think that Florida State is their biggest challenger. Miami certainly remains in the picture. Grew up an FSU fan. The Seminoles 3-0, just got done putting a spanking on Kent State. I think they're a program that could maybe match the modern recruiting in this recruitment as well for Derek Cooper. But obviously he loves what Texas does offensively, how he feels in Austin, the relationship with the coaching staffs, how they've been able to develop running backs. And then again, certainly the modern recruiting component has put Texas in great shape to keep Derek Cooper in the fold. Same goes with James J.J. Johnson, a Rivals 5-star, number 2 defensive lineman in the land, back at Texas instead of at Miami. It was reported earlier in the week by one of our colleagues, Stephen Wagner, who covers Miami for the Miami Rivals site. Well, James Johnson's not at Miami. He is in Texas, in Austin again, and I think that's going to be a tough flip. Texas was able to flip him from Georgia. Again, the way they play defense, the style of play, how comfortable he is on campus, and the modern recruiting component, Texas is going to be tough to beat there. Corey Wells is the intriguing one, right? He would look like he was close to flipping to Auburn, 4-star defensive lineman. Him and his brother look like they were on their way to being part of the Auburn class. Not so fast. He is in Texas this weekend. He has not been on the Longhorns campus since his official visit in the summer. So this will be a big visit for Texas as they aim to keep him in the fold. Samari Matthews, one of their most coveted targets, regardless of position, corner. He's back at Texas this weekend. So they're getting the band back together, and they want to add, Josh. They want to add to it. The big news of the day on the trail, Rivals number 2 athlete. He's our number 31 player overall. We have 32 5-stars a year. So if these were our final rankings, Jaylen Lott would be a 5-star recruit. He is having a fantastic senior season, scoring, I think he's got 11. I don't want to undersell it. Let me see. I posted on Inside Texas his stats today, and he is having a fantastic senior season at the wide receiver position. 23 catches, 525 yards, 11 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That might change. Those kind of numbers might change how much you really want a young man to join your program. And he is committed to Oregon. He is a Texas legacy, putting on a show each and every Friday, plays against Bo Bentley, Oklahoma commit in Salina next week, but he is having a fantastic senior season. He's on campus. I'm told Texas has not stopped recruiting Lott since he committed to Oregon. And I think there's optimism around Austin. And I think this visit came as a big surprise to everybody, media, other coaches. So I think Jaylen Lott being at Texas says a lot. We'll see what happens from here. Rivals 300 linebacker Braylon Hodge also visiting. He's from Colorado. He's committed to Michigan State. Visited with the Buffs earlier. Michigan's offered recently. Texas offered recently. Talked to him a little bit during his visit. He was in meetings with the staff. They're just getting to know each other. Obviously, new offer, first visit. So feeling each other out. They love the film. So does Charles Power, Cody Belair and company. We gave him a big rankings bump. He's in the Rivals 300 right now. And he is at Texas this weekend, and perhaps he ends up in the Longhorns class. We'll see how this visit goes. Michigan State plays a big game on the road tonight against USC. They're undefeated, but he's in Austin right now soaking up that atmosphere. Those are the headliners in 2026, Josh. Obviously, there's some big 2027s, but do you have some follow-up questions before we kick it to these juniors here?
Yeah, I just think that the behind-the-scenes strategy that happens in recruiting offices is kind of at play here. Getting guys like Derek Cooper, Tyra Atkinson, James Johnson, Corey Wells back on campus when there's other big visit weekends going on. I don't think enough is said for the kind of planning that goes on in recruiting. I mean, keeping James Johnson away from Miami, keeping Derek Cooper away from, that's almost, a win in its own, just getting them back on campus. When Tyra Atkinson committed to Texas over Georgia, we said the only way Texas is going to keep him if they have access to him when they need access to him. And here we are, back-to-back visits. He's playing on Friday nights. He's still making it to Austin. I mean, that's kind of the formula that we see if Texas is going to hold on to big-time out-of-state 5-stars like this.
Well, one thing we don't doubt about Texas is the big recruiting chops that they have. Finished with Rivals' #1 ranked recruiting class last cycle. This program in the college football playoff last year, started the season ranked #1 in the country, certainly has a chance to, all their goals are in front of them, a potential SEC championship, another berth in the college football playoffs. They didn't get here by accident. They've recruited at a high level under Steve Sarkisian and the staff. General manager Brandon Harris does as good a job staying organized as any in the country. And they've done well in the transfer portal. And so here is a program that's competing for championships, competing for all the marbles. It has the modern infrastructure to be competitive in the blue chip recruiting battles that they designate the ones they want to win. And we've seen it every year of the Coach Sarkisian era, and we're seeing it again this cycle. Look, Derek Cooper, they went out and closed that one pretty quickly. James J.J. Johnson committed to Georgia in pretty surprising fashion. The folks around Austin, I think they thought that they led the whole time. That was a minor little hiccup. I think they thought they led since the spring. I think Georgia led early winter. In the spring, Texas took the lead, took an official visit to Texas in the summer. Pop for Georgia, but he's in the fold for Texas right now and going to be hard to flip. Derek Cooper, again, I'm watching Florida State. But the big news right now for Texas isn't defense. They're on offense this week, Josh.
Yeah.
They got Jaylen Lott in Austin. He's committed to Oregon, but he is a Texas legacy recruit. He is having a fantastic senior season. And I think that Texas is ramping it up a level in this recruitment. I talked to Inside Texas publisher Eric Nalen today. He feels the same way, that Texas is really on the gas for Jaylen Lott. Talked to Justin Wells earlier today, too. This visit is not just – sometimes committed guys take visits to campuses, and I don't bat an eye. Jaylen Lott, I'm curious to see what continues here because we know Oregon is game. So we'll see what happens. But obviously this is a young man, Texas legacy recruit, closer to home. The Longhorns love him. Sarkisian's track record at receiver. This is a young man that could be an elite corner also. And I think maybe Texas even recruited him as a corner at first. But I believe they want him at wide receiver right now. Things are picking up. He's having a great senior season.
All right, one more name we got to hit on. That's Rivals' #1 quarterback, Kavian Bryant. He's going to be in Austin this weekend. He tweeted it. He probably is there as we speak. But heading into the weekend, you told me on the Wilt Fong Whip Around on Thursday that you felt Texas Tech, Florida State, and then Texas. So you said Texas is probably trailing these two heading into the visit. I had a Texas staffer, saw that clip, reached out to me behind the scenes and said, we're going to try to change that this weekend. So do you think coming out of this weekend, because there's a lot of smoke around Kavian Bryant and Texas Tech, is there a way that we could see Kavian Bryant in Texas back up on top? Is there a way?
Well, the reason why I have them pegged #3 isn't because of his interest in Texas. He loves Texas, loves the vibe on campus, loves the Longhorns offense, the coaching staff, the relationships, how he feels. when he's at the program. But I just kind of look at the way this recruitment's setting up. I think Kavian Bryant wants to play right away. I don't think that's going to happen at Texas. I think that right now, Arch Manning is the man in the cockpit and Diabell is on deck. I think that from a financial, modern recruiting standpoint, I think that Florida State and Texas Tech probably come in higher. Now, maybe I changed my mind on new information.
Right.
But there's no question this young man loves Texas. And the way the quarterback plays and the way Steve Sarkisian has historically had offense and great quarterbacks and what Texas brings on and off the field, the resources that this program has. So we'll see. Maybe I'm changing my tune, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of conversations and dialogue Kavian Bryant and his family have on their visit to Austin this weekend, because there's no question there's an early opportunity to play at Florida State. And then Texas Tech, they're pouring into them. They got the number one recruiting class in the country in 2027 right now. They're 4-0. They are as resourced as any program in America right now. So we'll see. But certainly Texas is in this one. I don't have them crossed off or anything.
All right. Well, we will see what happens. That's why it's all about that recruit reaction. Yeah.
Number 3 offensive lineman, number 3 interior offensive lineman, number 100 player overall, Ishmael Kamara, also at Texas today. Major target for the Longhorns, Josh. 4-star offensive tackle Brian Swanson, 4-star tight end Zach Ferris, a couple other guys that Texas staff is excited to have at UT.
All right, Texas fans, talk to Steve and I. Who are you most excited about? And it's great to see some of these top commits that have been taking visits elsewhere back on campus. So talk to us. Who are you most excited to see? Put it in the comment section below.